I love this new LED technology, and a lot of these budget light companies are starting to build their lights to a much higher standard to try and compete. So did you guys enjoy your 4th of July? Well, it's getting to be like Christmas around here. So I got another package in the mail, and this one came from the Viparspectra company. It's an LED light company, and after seeing that last video I did, they said, hey, we want in on the action. Will you review our light? And I said, sure, send me a light and we'll check it out and see what we've got. So although I'm not making a career out of reviewing grow lights, it's kind of fun. So in a minute, we're going to do an unboxing here, and we're going to see exactly what we've got. They decided to send me the Pro Series 2000, which is their newest line of lights. After we get done doing the unboxing, if you guys have been following these videos for the last couple weeks, we've got a par meter. We're going to take this into our little grow area, and we're going to do a par testing on this light. Now before we go any further, I want you to know I am not directly affiliated with any of these companies. They're sending me the light for the review. I think you need to do your own homework. There will be some links down in the description below to this company's products. You can go check them out for yourself. We're going to review it right now, see what we think here on this channel, but you need to do your own homework. Like I said, there will be links down below. Go check them out. And there it is, the Viparspectra Pro Series 2000 LED grow light. So let's take a look at this. So far it's looks like a really nice light. It's got some kind of a film coating over the diodes here, which is pretty cool. It kind of makes you feel like it's going to be a little bit more water resistant. None of this is waterproof, of course. We've got a dimmer knob, which is really cool. If you want to germinate seedlings, I actually really like that aspect there. If you want to germinate some seedlings or do cuttings and then grow the plants out all the way, you can dim the light, and we'll take that inside here shortly and show you that little feature. Let's flip this guy over. So here's the back side of it, and one thing that I really like about the direction that these LED companies are going is a lot of them are not using fans anymore. They're just fanless systems, which is just one less thing to go wrong in there. The driver is mounted right on the back of the light, so we've got a gap underneath it, good deal, and that'll allow for some airflow under there to keep things cool. It's a pretty nice looking light. It's very slim. You could hang it in a grow tent really nicely, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. What is this? Probably 1.5 feet long, maybe a little bit longer, by about 1 foot wide. So far I like this light. I like how it feels. It's not too heavy, but it's heavy enough to feel like it's got some heft to it, and it's got a quality build to it. It's a really nice direction that this company's going with. So yeah, so far I like it. I mean, this feels like a really quality build. I am much more excited about this series of lights that Viparspectra is putting out now than the last series they put out. So as we move forward, as technology gets better, these companies are putting out better and better lights, and the price isn't out of control. So far, I'm really happy with the construction. Now, what I want to do, and this is going to be the fun part for us, because we now have all the pieces we need together. I ended up getting an infrared thermometer. We've got a watt meter, and the Apogee company sent me that par meter. If you watched that last video about the Apogee par meter, you're going to know what this is all about. And if you haven't, go click a link down in the description here and I'll send you to that video. But it's a really cool meter that will measure the par output, the light output that is photosynthetically available to plants right in one little box. All right, so we've got everything set up here in our Mars Hydro 2x4 grow tent. We got the Viparspectra light here. It came with all the hardware to hang it on. We've got it plugged in, going out the corner of the tent there. It's hung quite a ways up here. I could lower it down, but we're just going to use that par meter to bring it up and down to the light. And then we've got the cool part. This is going to be fun. So we've got a thermometer, infrared thermometer, so we can see exactly how hot this light gets, because I know that's a question a lot of you have been asking. And then we've got our par meter. This is that Apogee par meter, the MQ500 that they sent us. I did a video on that one. It's so cool. It tells us exactly how much par we're getting out of these grow lights. So we're going to get that started. And then over here, I've got a little watt meter. And we're going to find out exactly how many watts this guy is pulling. All right, so let's turn off the lights now, and we're going to turn this light on in the dark, and we're going to see how much immediate impact all of these diodes have when that sucker turns on. And there it is. It always amazes me how much bright light these things put out, and these cameras never do it justice. They get the initial impact of the light, but then as the camera adjusts in its sensitivity, it dims it down. But you can see right there just how much light this little 200 watt setup is putting out. And if we go from the top of the light here, you can see it's kind of darker up here, and down below we do it fast, boom, now the camera adjusts quick. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? We've got full spectrum, the blues, the reds, the infrareds. We've got everything we need to grow beautiful plants in here with this light. I love this new LED technology. And a lot of these budget light companies are starting to build their lights to a much higher standard to try and compete. And I really like that. Like I said, this one feels hefty. It feels good and solid. There's no moving parts, no fans, none of that. It's just all of the heat is given off here by this heat sink on the back, just the metal construction of it. And then in between the driver here and the construction, the frame, we've got a gap for air to flow under. You could hang some form of a fan or something if you wanted to try and cool that. I'm going to leave this on for a few, and we're going to see exactly how much heat this is giving off. But first, let's check out the watt meter and see how many watts this is putting out. Now, they rate this at a 200 watt light, so let's get the watts here. And there it is, 203 watts. So it's pulling right at just about what they're saying, 200 and 204, 203. That's what it's reading on the watt meter. Now let's get the par meter out. This is the exciting part. If you guys have been watching videos about grow lights and par meters and learning about this thing makes it so much more fun, because we can see with this little meter from the Apogee company exactly how much photosynthetically active radiation these grow lights are putting out for our plants, and at what height to hang these grow lights from the plant. So let's get this little cover off here. And I'm actually, this company, by the way, I didn't show you guys this before, they actually sent me an extension wand for this and a little puck to place it on so that we can do this hands-free and measure a little bit easier. So I'm going to put the wand on there now, and we're going to see how this works out. All right, so there's the Apogee meter with the wand set up, fully extended. All right, so because this is kind of hard to do with the lighting and it'll be hard to see this, I'm going to show you where I put this wand, and then we're going to bring this forward so you can actually see how much par output. So let's turn this little meter on. See if we can read that. Yep, 1240. So there we are. I'm actually, let's get this to the center. I'm in the center of the light right here with the wand, right in the center, and probably, let's go about a foot down. Now I'm not measuring this right now, so it's all by hand, so we can move it around, but about a foot down in the center of the wand, and we're at 1400 par. Wow, that's a big number. That will flower and create plenty of vegetables, flowers, anything like that on any plant that you want to grow. It'll do way better than that, but let's go down. I didn't think 200 watts was going to produce that much par at even a foot, but let's go down. This is about 2 feet now. We'll put this up here. 675, 680, somewhere about 2 foot, right around 2 foot. So that's putting out some good par. That's actually in the flowering range with plenty of room for vegetative growth. Let's move it up. So I'm probably 16 inches right here, and we're talking 900s. Wow, that's good par. Now, here's where things are going to change as we move this meter out to the outside of the edge of the light here. I'm going to go to the very edge. Actually, we'll go to this side so we can get this closer to the camera, but we'll go about a foot down, and we're going to go to the outside edge of the light. Let's see what we get. Right around 800. That's a good number. Now let's go 6 inches out from the edge of that canopy, further from the light. 6 inches out and a foot down. We're at 326. So that's good vegetative growth right there. This light is actually pretty impressive for the wattage. We're only talking 200 watts, so I'm happy with this. And for you guys trying to grow lots of vegetables or seedlings or anything like that, here we are. We've got this light hanging up. So there's the whole shot of it, just how far up we are from this. This grow tent, I believe, is 5'10" at the top. But let's just check exactly what the par is. It's somewhere close to a 4-foot height. Alright, so we're now at the bottom, just directly under the light here. And we are getting 253 par. Here we are, so you can see it. 200, and there it is, 252, 253 par right down at the base. And if you watched that last video, remember, with that kind of a par rating, between 200 and 400, you're talking seedlings, cuttings, and you could do some vegetative growth of some indoor plants right there. So that's at 4 foot, though, from this only 200-watt grow light right in the base. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting. I'm going to move this out to the side, and because of the height of the grow light, probably will fall a little bit because we're not right under the grow light. But as I move this out to the edge, it still will be a lot more of an even spread than it was up closer to the light. So let's go right here out on the edge, and we're talking 178. There it is, 180. So 180 par, that's at 4 foot. Seedlings would germinate in that range, and you could grow a lot of seedlings in there. And that's only 200 watts. That's so much better than the fluorescent tubes that we used to use. I still have inside, and you will use a lot less power overall for much bigger space. But as far as what they were saying with the 4x4 vegetative growth, I don't know. I think that would be pushing it with a 200-watt light. In this 2x4 grow tent, we're even at 4 foot. If I could actually, let's try this. Let's go up a foot or so. So we're about at 3 foot right now. We're out at the edge of the light. Let's see what par we get. So here at the edge of the light at 3 foot, we're at 300 par, right around 300. And so you're going to get good seedling growth, good cutting growth and all that. But if we go out to the edge, where are we at here now? Well, it's actually holding its own. I am actually surprised at that. So at the 4 foot height, where are we at? At the 4 foot height, we were dropping quite a bit down into the 100s, but at the 3 foot height, we're holding it close to that 300 par range, which would be good. So maybe 4 foot's just too far. 3 foot is a little bit better number for an even canopy of any kinds of cuttings that you want to do. And actually, 300 is a great range, like I said, for seedlings, cuttings, anything like that. We're starting to get up closer to the 400 where we do vegetative growth. But as we do that, let's go to the 2 foot range, about 2 foot, halfway right there. And we are at 562, 560s. So that's going to be good for vegetative growth. But as we go out to the edge, because the light's closer, that range is going to fall. We're kind of getting out of the vegetative growth range. So this light, what this is telling me is, if you had more watts, it's going to cover it and beam down a lot more hardcore from this height. But with 200 watts, you really want to stay in a smaller area. They're saying 4x4 grow, vegetative growth with this light. I don't know that it's going to cover that much space. I don't think it will. I wouldn't use it for that. But this light would be perfect for a little 2x3 growth space if you want to start as seedlings, start as cuttings, and then grow them fully out all the way to flower. This thing would work perfect for that because it's got the footprint for a 2x3 area. And I really think that's how they should be selling it. I guess if that was a con, it's not the light. I really like the light. The con would be how they're advertising it. I would definitely advertise this thing as perfect for a 2x3 grow space. And this thing would do full seedling cuttings all the way to finishing out your plant, flowering it, doing whatever you need to do with it right here under a 2x3 space with this light, only 200 watts. I am impressed with this light quite a bit. I just think that their advertising online needs to change a little bit, but hopefully they'll see this and take that into consideration, because I really am happy and impressed with this light. That's at 2 foot right there, right in the center. So let's go up. If you are a foot under this light, right in the center of it, 1400 par. It's putting out plenty of par. It's putting out tons of par for flowering. You could grow some awesome tomatoes, some awesome peppers, some awesome medicinal plants right under this light if you wanted to, but you're not going to grow massive numbers of plants. You're not going to grow a huge area, but you're only talking 200 par, guys. You're only talking 200 par. So far, I really like it. Or, sorry, 200 watt, not 200 par. So far, I really like this light. I really do. All right, so we've had this on for about 10 minutes now, and it's starting to heat up. I could put my hand on it, and it's pretty warm, but it's not hot. It's not a problem. You can see I can put my hand here as long as I want to. What kind of shocked me a little bit is that that other Mars Hydro, the driver, stayed a little more cool. This one is pretty warm. It's about the same warmth as this right here, but it's not bad. I can sit here and hold my hand here all day long, but like I said, it's only been about 10 minutes. It'll heat up a little bit more as we go. But let's get this infrared thermometer out and see exactly what the temperature is on this. 121 degrees right there on the actual heat sink. Let's try the driver. 109, 110, so it's a little bit cooler on the driver. Let's go down to the middle of this thing in the green area. 118. It's right around 110 to 120 degrees. We're about 10 minutes into having this on, and like I said, it'll probably heat up a little bit more, but it's not going to heat up too much more. We'll see what happens. Alright, so this light has been on now for about 20 minutes, and I decided to come back to it. Let's see what the temperatures have gone up to now. Alright, so that's on the heat sink. 128 degrees. Looks like it's going to settle somewhere right in there, about 128. Depending on how far I've got it. There we go. Let's try the driver here. Alright, 124 and a half. Not too bad. So it hasn't gone up a lot. Right in the middle of that green paint there. 123. So somewhere in the 120s. That's kind of where we're hanging here after about 20 minutes of this light being on. That is not that hot. Let's do the hand test. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I can sit here and hold my hand on there all day long. Now remember, the driver's getting a little hotter. I can feel it. I can sit here all day long and hold my hand there, but it's hot. I'll tell you, it's hot. But remember, this is a 200 watt light here. If you had 300 watts, that sucker would heat up even more. Just, you know, the more wattage, the more heat you're going to get. But the real advantage of these LED lights is they put a lot more of their energy into actual grow light output versus heat. You know, if you're comparing them to like metal halides or even some of the, or definitely the incandescents, metal halides, HPS, all those kinds of lights. I don't know about the fluorescents. I think they put out more heat than light too, but I'd have to do some testing on that. But yeah, it's not too bad at all. It's a beautiful light though. Man, I love these LEDs. This is really the future of indoor growing, guys. LED lights. You got to get out of the HPS, and I know some people are going to come on here and be like, "You're full of it, Mike. I love my HPS," but these things are just, this is the way to go. It's the future. Love these LED lights. Now the last thing I want to do here is play around with this little dimmer. That is a pretty cool little feature. If you want to hang this light down at a certain height and just keep it there, you can actually use the dimmer to save on power. You can see how it dims down in there. Let's do this with the camera on the stand. Alright, so let's dim this all the way down. Well, it sure does come down quite a bit. I'm going to test just how much par is under there. So this is dimmed down all the way. We're going to go about a foot underneath this light. I'm right at a foot. Let's get this going. We are at 175 par. So, yeah, you might get some seedlings going good under there, but I don't know why you'd want to dim it down all the way unless, let's see, let's put this up here higher. We'll go right in the center of the light, about 4 inches or so from it. You're talking 400 par. Now that's a good amount of light, but that's basically only going to cover just underneath the light at 4 inches. So I suppose you'd want to do that if you were just doing a little footprint, little 1 foot by 16 inch footprint or so. It just had plants right underneath this light. You'd get an even spread. You got the wattage turned way down, so you're not wasting a lot of power. And we'll look at that watt meter here in a second. And you're getting 400 par right at 4 inches, and now this thing's producing way less heat. So I suppose there could be a nice application for that. And then if you really want to get that sucker cooked on and start growing some nice plants, you could just crank it right up. Boom, there's full light. And like I showed you before, we're at 4 inches now, cranked all the way up. 3,300 par, dang! You just wouldn't need that much. You'd have that, those plants would just have to go way further down there. Alright, so let's turn this down now, all the way. We got this guy dimmed down quite a bit. That's such a cool little feature. And now let's go over to the watt meter and see exactly what we've got here. See if this will show here. 18.5 watts. Wow! That sucker's all the way down to 18.5 watts. That's only producing, that's actually cooler than I thought it would be. So that's only putting out, or it's only using 18 watts. So the heat consumption is going to go way down, or the heat production anyway. And the power consumption is going way down. And where I showed you under that par meter, if you had this, these plants 4 inches under here, the heat is low. So you can have those plants, seedlings or cuttings or whatever, right under this light. You're only talking 18 watts, but 400 par. I think that's what it was, 400, 300. I'm pretty sure we just said 400. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, let's crank this back up. Here we go. We'll do it fast. Man, that is so cool, man. That is awesome. It's a pretty cool light. A lot of neat little features on there. So you really could do a lot with this thing based on the dimming switch there, how high or low you had things to it. It's just, there's a lot of versatility with this light, and I think it's going to come in pretty darn handy around here when we're growing all kinds of neat little things. What a cool little setup. Pretty cool, huh? So first of all, like I said, I am not affiliated with these companies. Click down the link in the description. I get paid nothing for that. Just go research it for yourself. I'm providing that for you guys for free, and I think the Viparspectra company was going to do a discount code, so I'll have that in the link in the description too. If you guys do decide you want to buy this light, you can click on that discount code and go get it, and you'll get some money off. But I don't get paid anything for that. This is all just me trying to review this and give you guys the information. So I hope you've learned something from this video. I hope doing the part testing and the heat testing and talking about the different components has helped you kind of make a decision, or at least help guide you on your journey to pick a good light for your growing environment that you've got at home. I think the biggest thing to consider is how many watts you want in a light, because that's going to really determine how big of a space you can, how many watts and how spread out those diodes are is going to determine how big of a space you can grow under. Long story short, I really like that grow light. I think they're going in the right direction. It's a nice hefty grow light. It's compact, it's tight, it's strong, it's durable. There's no moving parts in it, and I have a feeling it lasts a long time. I'd love it if they used Samsung diodes and Meanwell drivers, but if they did that, I have a feeling the price would probably go up considerably. So anyway, click on the link down below, check them out, see what you think for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow along. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.